is episode 174. Welcome into the Benches Cleared podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. Yeah, I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants.
And I'm Dave. I'm just living on cloud nine, man. When I got to see Luka in his first game, I saw the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Kershaw's back. Giants are still in the gutter. It's great. It's great.
You're out of pocket.
Oh,
this is ridiculous. I don't understand what kind of voodoo you have, or what kind of Aladdin type shit you got going on here, but it's a little ridiculous. At what point does it end?
I feel like something bad's gonna happen to me. Like I might not be here next week or something. Like the Dodgers win. The Lakers get Luka gifted to them.
Right.
And my brother-in-law buys tickets like 2 weeks before the game, and it just happens that that's the day he makes his debut. Like, how? And then the Eagles win.
Yeah.
So,
just your other team wins a championship,
and they win emphatically. You know what I mean? Like they didn't even leave any question. They're just like, first quarter, it's over. So.
Well, hopefully we can get to a point where this is just your peak, and then you just come crashing down just in the sports world.
I don't know, man, because as soon as they got on this podcast, I started making predictions in the postseason, and they went pretty well. So maybe it's because I'm on here.
So God is just like, you can't be wrong. I can't have my man Dave being wrong up on here.
He's not a Giants fan. Let's just put it that way.
Listen, we had a good run. Yes, I think this is going to be pretty Dodger heavy pod. Maybe at least at the beginning. Because there's a lot of things to get into. Spring training has sprung. All the pitchers,
all the mids pop. What a beautiful
that
sound.
Should get old, but it doesn't.
It just doesn't. You hear it. You hear those videos. They don't even have to be talking or anything. It's just the popping of the glove, and you're like, we're back, baby.
Oh, get me going.
It's like they never left.
Yeah, this is the season for optimism. You just think, oh man, if they just, you don't need to be optimistic. I guess you're just, that's being real for you.
And for the mom and pop Dodgers, like, hey man, if things align, if things go well, like these mom and pop gritty Dodgers, the underdogs, if everything goes right,
if 90% of your roster just doesn't get hurt, like that's what you're hoping for.
I think if like 75 doesn't get hurt, I think you have a little bit of leeway now. With
a little bit of leeway?
With how many players they've brought in, so.
Ridiculous. Yeah. We got to address these Dodgers, though. We got to address what is going on with these Dodgers, these Dodger fans who just are never satisfied and always crying.
I don't know about that last part. Cried about what?
We're gonna get into some people crying in a second, but you guys feel like you're above the law. It's insane. Like this whole one thing I wanted to bring up before we get into this whole Aaron Boone situation is all the World Series stuff that you got going during the Padres series. I mean, you're waiting all the way until, when is this? June, so it's probably on purpose, right? And everyone's like, oh my gosh, look, we're trolling the Padres. But when anybody else does anything close to that, it's they live in their head rent free. They're just so obsessed with us. Oh my gosh, we're Marsha Brady. And then when you guys do it, it's like, we're trolling, aren't we funny?
Hey, when you're the champ, when you've beaten every other team to the top,
okay,
the champ doesn't apologize to anybody, okay? So we get to do whatever we want.
Right,
so,
okay.
Hey, they backed it up. I mean, what is the ultimate troll is like, you put Kershaw up on the screen, a crying Kershaw. Okay, cool. But you didn't even finish the season the way you wanted to. The Dodgers waited. They waited and waited until they got it right, and they won the World Series. And they're like, you know what? That was funny, right? You guys laughed. It was funny. Remember when you guys called our front offices and asking for tickets for the next round, knowing that we weren't advancing? That was funny, right? We all laughed, right?
That was pretty funny.
Well, now,
I had a great time. Yeah. I had a great time.
hey, well,
I'm
you know
just
what?
saying.
Here goes this, and here goes two more for you. Two more range or whatever it is. Promotions.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
all I saw on Dodgers Twitter.
Don't start none.
How
if you don't
dare
want
you do this to Kershaw with the Kershaw crying meme with the Padres? But then you guys do the same thing, and it's like, hey, we're funny, we're trolling.
What? Okay, well, what player are we singling out? What legend, future Hall of Famer, are we singling out with our trolling? We're trolling the whole team. You know, so I mean, apples to oranges, dude.
I don't know about that. What legend?
In my very humble opinion.
Yeah, apparently your humble opinion. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there. We're not going to unpack it. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out in the chat and hanging out and making us feel welcome. Man, wait, what do you mean? Could be worse. You've lost third baseman before a single drill is ran. Whose third baseman got lost?
I think we're talking about the guy that every time the season starts, he decides to take a vacation. We're talking about Anthony Rendon.
Oh, Rodon. That's a good. Okay,
Anthony Rendon. So
Rendon.
As soon as he heard the mitts popping, he's like, "Oh, I need an excuse."
He was like, he could have had a hip surgery like 3 months ago, and he was like, baseball season. I think I'm gonna do this surgery now. Need another vacation.
He told the doctor, like, why don't we wait till the beginning of the season and we'll get it done then. So whatever, man. That's got to be one of the worst contracts, right?
What's going on, Dancy? Yeah, it has to be. People say maybe the Strasburg is, and I mean, I guess, but you would want to believe that he actually was hurt, and he was a World Series hero.
Yeah.
Huh?
But he won a chip, like Strasburg. Yeah, they won something with him. Rendon is just finishing his career and not giving a damn.
Dude, this is wild. It's so wild. I mean, like, I've never seen anything like where the rumors are, hey, this guy doesn't like baseball, and his response are always like, no, it's not the most important thing. So, yeah, suck it. And it's like, what? Like, you don't even want to throw any bones to your fans. Like, it's wild. Like,
he's already won. He's gotten paid. What does he care?
I guess so. Yeah, I saw that tweet where someone retweeted Jeff Passan's, after the Super Bowl, baseball it's your time now, or baseball, you're on the clock. And someone retweeted it and said, like, heartbreaking news for Anthony Rendon. Pretty funny. Good times. I think we do got to talk about it, Dave. I think we're here. We've gotten to this point. We got some topics that we're going to go through, guys. And if you have any questions, just make sure to leave them in the chat and we'll get to them. But back to Dodger fans just being.
Oh, this is going to be good. This one's juicy.
Crybabies? Like, amnesia? Like, I don't understand why the narrative right now is Aaron Boone is crying. This makes I saw, oh my gosh, it's like an old time sports guy that I haven't seen in like 10 years, going crazy on Aaron Boone for calling him a crybaby, why you being such a bitch, you're a wuss, all this kind of stuff. And this guy's just answering questions. Like, it's not like he's going out of his way to say things. And even what he's saying is not even bad.
But you're anti-Dodger, so.
And you're pro-Dodger, so.
But we were in that series. So nothing that the player said was, like, outlandish. Okay, so.
It wasn't trash talk?
Can it be trash talk if it's true?
Yes. And number two, not all of it was true. Joe Kelly went pretty wild.
This is how it went. Hey man, we scouted them and we knew this is exactly what they were gonna do. but they didn't say it so eloquently. They said it, like they were shit.
They
Like,
said a bunch of.
They
said
literally
a bunch of
said,
stuff
"Hey
in
man,
between.
hey, we knew that if we ran the bases hard, it would mess them up. They would fuck up.
Oh,
We
oh
knew
my
that
gosh.
if you did this a certain way, they were gonna mess up. So how
Oh.
is that trash talk if it's true? The Yankees proved it to be true. Like, it wasn't like they made up stuff and it didn't happen. Aaron
Okay.
Judge, his first error was in the World Series, but he still made an error.
I
you
understand that.
You had a second baseman playing third base. Of course, he's not going to be able to handle it well. If is that
Third
trash
baseman
talking?
didn't even do anything. What do you mean? It was the shortstop who made the bad throw.
Well, still, he didn't. He could have, a third baseman might have been able to pick it. Who knows? The shortstop made a couple of errors as well. Like, am I being an asshole because I'm saying the truth?
You wouldn't be an asshole saying the truth. You would be an asshole to say that what the Dodgers said wasn't trash talk enough for the Yankees to be offended. The Yankees to be like, okay, now we got to respond. Or, the old Michael Jordan, and I took that personally.
But it's like how the mighty have fallen. Like, these are guys that are flaunting their 20
The mighty have
rings,
fallen?
and now they're crying about comments made by bench players.
Okay,
Like,
hold on.
Shouldn't their incentive should be, we want to win another ring since we haven't won since 09.
Right?
That's it. Who cares about the outside noise? Who the hell cares what the Dodgers said? They won. They deserve to say it. That's it. But they're like, to use it as motivation.
We get to say whatever we want, and everyone just has to be happy about it.
But to say that they need to use it, to say they need to use it as motivation because the Dodgers said it. No, dude, you guys were just ass when it mattered. Why don't you just focus on yourself?
They would take offense to it if the Red Sox said it about the World Series. I think they would take offense to it if anybody else said it in the World Series. But
it was their own play. You know what I mean? It was their own play. Like, they did it to themselves. Like, they didn't play well.
The Dodgers made it seem like they didn't even belong to be. It didn't even. Deserve to be there.
You look at the top of that fifth inning, and you tell me that was a major league club, and they deserve to be there. That was the worst inning played of baseball in a while, dude. Guy not covering first base, guy dropping the ball, error,
fell apart.
A thrown ball, completely awful. And then when you point it out, that's not trash talk. That's just saying the truth.
This is so wild. This is so wild. Can we? I gotta pull some receipts because I knew this was gonna go this way. I had to pull some receipts. We're gonna, feel free to comment on where the crying is on this. But we're gonna go to the Aaron Boone presser, and please tell me where the crying is. Show me.
The Dodgers spent a good portion of their offseason talking trash about just how clean this team is. Did you take any of that personally? Do you think any of the guys took that personally?
Probably a little bit. I mean, don't like hearing that. You hope. But the reality is, we didn't play our best in the series.
Owning up to it.
And they won. So, they have that right to say whatever. Hopefully we're in that position next year and handle things with a little more class. But, that the reality is it's a great team. It's a great organization with a lot of great people that, I happen to know and respect too. So, a few people, sounding off, isn't necessarily how I would want to draw it up, but they're the champs. They have that right.
That's wild. That's
so
crying.
Are they the champs and can say whatever they want? Or are you going to address, like, you can't have it both.
You just said he was crying.
He is crying. You changed the video. You didn't let me hear him when he was wowing.
That was the whole video.
Hey, he should have just said, hey, they're the champs. They can say whatever they want. That's it. You don't need to add anything more. Because the champs can say whatever they want.
Just because you signed every player ever doesn't mean that no one else could say anything. This is wild.
Is the Yankees. And we're acting like it's somebody, like a lower team, like just because you signed every. Yankees sign players too. They're supposed to be what we are. So cry me a river. They're the ones, the owner was crying poor. No, I don't care what they say. He's crying.
I don't know. I agree. I think he's taking it like a champ. I felt like that was a legitimate being like, yeah, it bothered us, but it was our fault for playing that way. And then we act like the Dodgers didn't say anything. I saw people say things like, well, that's just Joe Kelly. He always talks shit. Okay. That doesn't mean that just because it's Joe Kelly, he just gets a forever pass on whatever.
No, but it's like, he embellishes shit. He didn't even play. He didn't have a single inning in the World Series. And you're letting that guy like get under your skin? Like, come on.
But he's talking for you. You're letting a guy who didn't pitch one inning speak for your team?
Well, he's not the spokesperson. He's not talking for he was on a random podcast, wherever he was. Like, he's not talking for everybody. Chris Taylor also said he was drunk and he said it not eloquently. Like, so if they had come out and they said,
we're gonna give the I was drunk excuse right now. That's
regardless. Wild. But my point is, have they come out and just talked normally and been like, or more eloquently and been like, you know what, they made errors that contributed to the loss, whatever it is, some PC answer, we wouldn't be talking about it, right? But it's just because the way they said it. Like, come on. That's some girl stuff. Like, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
I take it more like,
look at yourself in the mirror, Boone.
I take it more like if you say, hey, they struggled on defense, and you say, oh god, they suck defensively. I think there's a definite difference there. I mean,
it's the same thing though. One's a PC answer, one's just more like you're talking with buddies. Yeah,
one is trash talking, one is talking facts. There's a difference there.
No, they're both facts. Like, hey, they were trash at defense. Yeah, that's true.
You're killing me.
That fifth inning was not the only inning where they were bad.
Okay,
Juan Soto in right field was an adventure for them.
So you're telling me
he literally gave up a triple to Kike because how badly he played that ball. Okay, so
I don't think anyone is defending their defense.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's trash defense. You're telling me it's not?
Oh, it's trash defense. But if you're
the other team being like, that's just true.
They shouldn't have been there. That's wild. There's a difference there.
Well, like I said, they embellish. Joe Kelly definitely embellished. If we're gonna take everything that Joe Kelly says, then we're not gonna get very far in this podcast because
he's on your team. You guys had bobbleheads of the Mariachi Joe.
Well, he's not on now. But either way, like, he didn't play in the series. So I mean, Chris Taylor had a couple at bats. I just don't understand why like they're letting those two guys get under their skin. Of all people,
this is wild. You guys are so wild. The oh my gosh, the just blinders you guys that have on Dodgers Twitter is hilarious to me.
Hey, you know how they could have avoided this trash talk and their hurt feelings? You know how they could have avoided their hurt feelings?
What?
They could have played better. You know what? They could have won the series.
Oh my gosh. Better. You know what I should have done is I should have looked up all the stuff that they were crying about the format. That's what I should have looked up. Instead of looking up all the trash
years
talk.
Ago.
Yeah. You're so wild. This is so wild. I mean, do we even have to go into what Joe Kelly said? Or do we have to even go into what Chris Taylor and Max Muncy said?
I don't think we could. I would love to rehear it. It's fine, but like,
okay, fine. Well, let you tell me why this is not trash talk.
Yeah, that's what we needed. That boy Rizzo was too busy thinking about mound visits.
Oh yeah, I know. All right, we'll talk about that. Yeah,
I mean, we're all kind of thinking that they kind of shut down their leg, right? You know, they were pressing like it was like one thing after the next. So I think our energy in the dugout was kind of feeding off that. It was like, all we got to do is put the ball in play right. You know,
all we got to do is put the ball in play. That is wild. That boy Rizzo is only worried about mound visits. Wild.
And what else did they? What else did they do in the series? What did they do? What did Rizzo do?
Maybe not Rizzo. Maybe not Rizzo. Maybe not Rizzo. But you act like you guys weren't worried when they were up 5-0 coming back.
What does that have to do with like the defense?
I can't stand this. This is erroneous. Erroneous on all accounts. This is so wild. You guys, oh my
Torres not mess up a relay at second base that allowed Shohei to get to third? That's just putting the ball in play. They couldn't even get a relay right. Like, what are we talking about here?
This is wild. This isn't trash talk. This is just stating facts. This is what we're going here.
Exactly.
Okay, this right here. This is what you guys are about to watch. This is just stating facts. This isn't trash talk.
No. You're not going to give me the Joe Kelly and try.
Oh, because you know it's bad. Because you know it's bad.
He definitely embellishes. Like, he sets facts and then
That's
he goes
your
off.
fault.
Like when he says that they didn't belong there. Like, all right, I don't agree with that. Like, they beat everybody else to get there.
That the Guardians are better than them, even though the Yankees beat them in 4 games.
They beat them soundly, sure, but what I'm saying is like they deserve to be there. I don't agree with that, but everything else he said before that is.
And
true.
here's where I might I might be misinterpreted right now. I'm not even that upset. I'm not even upset that the Dodgers are saying all this stuff. What grinds my gears is when I see Dodgers Twitter like, oh, why is Aaron Boone crying? Oh my gosh, shouldn't he be more worried about they haven't made a World Series since 2009? Why is he crying when he just is answering a question that's put in front of him when he's saying, hey, they're the champs. They can say whatever they want. I hope, not even when I hope when we get there that we're able to get back there and we show a little more class. Like, that's wild. And then you guys are upset about that. That upsets you, but I can't even speak right now. But when Joe Kelly says,
okay,
they didn't belong to be there, you guys hit with a, what's so wrong about that?
What is wrong about that? Then he himself goes, it's only a couple people, but like, yeah, dude, it was 2 players that didn't really make much of an impact on the series.
They were on the team and they said it.
But they didn't even play. Like, and they're saying it with class. Like Jazz Chisholm was saying after game 2, after they lost, nah, we're still winning this series. Like, nah, we're like, whatever. Like, you think those players, you think Juan Soto, it was the only guy that I would expect to not say anything would be Aaron Judge. He would be classy. Everybody else, you think they're not going to say something? You think they would stay quiet? No, there's no way. Yeah. Everybody acts like this because the Dodgers have been running their mouth. Dodger fans have been running their mouth about this, including me, about this championship. Well, why are they talking about us and all this? Why are they clowning on us instead of celebrating it? Well, because you can do both. And when you're the champs, you can talk as much shit as you want. There's nobody above you.
I'm not mad at them talking shit. I am flabbergasted when you talk all this shit and then someone's like, yeah, they were talking trash. We took it personal. We're going to use it as motivation. And then you guys are clutching pearls. It's just like Dan is saying, it's blue privilege. That's the best thing I've heard all day.
The difference is? The difference is that they asked Mookie, they asked him about this World Series and whatever it was. And he's like, we haven't even played one game. I don't care about last year's World Series. We're not talking about that. They asked Boone as a manager. He could have just easily said, hey guys, that's the past. That's the past. If you don't want to talk about it, just, that's the past, guys. Let's talk about this year. How can we get to a World Series since 2009?
So you're able to talk about it all day.
But he did it because
he's obviously can't even answer a question
because he's still butthurt. Like,
they're asking him questions the first day of spring training.
He avoids so many questions. He avoids so many other. Boone, I've seen him avoid questions and be like, I'm not going to talk about it or whatever it is. But he wanted to talk about this. So, of course, he's still butthurt. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have so much to say about it. He wouldn't have said that classy comment. So, I'm glad that it still stings him. And good for him. Good luck getting back, man. Good luck getting back.
He would have had a classy comment. Oh, this is wild.
He would have been such
so wild.
I can't wait when he wins one. Who knows when?
Okay.
And see how classy he handles it.
I don't think anyone. I mean, maybe I'm just insane. I mean, my team has won 3 in recent years, and I can't remember the Giants going off and saying anything. I don't know if anyone has, except for maybe Maybe the Astros. Maybe the Astros because they cheated their World Series.
But
and they were...
nobody hated you besides the Dodgers. Like, you didn't go a whole season with everybody just chomping at the bit for you to lose. It's not even close to the
That's what
same.
the Yankees. That is the Yankees, though. So you're not the only team that has that.
Okay, well, you'd think they'd understand. Instead of being so freaking fragile about it.
Oh my gosh, I think someone's fragile, and it's Dodgers Twitter. That's what it is. Oh gosh,
I think
amnesia.
We're right.
It's
think
amnesia.
He's gonna be crying, and he's gonna cry when they miss the freaking World Series.
No crying. Okay.
But, let's move on from the crying Boone.
Let's move on from crying Boone. This is so wild. I can't even stand it. All right. Let's talk about Kike and Kershaw. Let's do that. Let's stay with Dodger talk because you own the world, so might as well. Was there ever a doubt or ever a worry that they weren't going to sign? Are you excited about the sign? Just bask in more Dave happiness.
Well, I thought that Kike would come back when the 60 IL, both of them would come back when the 60 IL opened. Right. I thought if Kike was going to leave, it would be early because somebody was going to, snatch him up, give him a couple years, some good money. But I just didn't see it. He loves it here. He's found a role here. Like they don't necessarily care how well he plays in the regular season because of how much he impacts the postseason. And I don't think anybody else could has that luxury, of just like him having a so-so year and then hoping that they make the playoffs where he can make an impact. So,
right.
I mean, maybe an Atlanta team or somebody like that, but I just think he loves it here too much. And then for Kershaw, I just never saw him going anywhere other than maybe retiring. Like I know there was, people trying to make news of it or trying to, stir up some headlines and say, oh, maybe he'll go somewhere else. Maybe he'll finish in with the Texas, whatever it is. But I just never thought he'd leave. If he left, it was because he was done with the game. And I just, the parade and all that, he just didn't seem like he was ready to go. And, cool. We'll be happy when he comes back on the mound. Get those last strikeouts to reach what was it? Forgot the milestone, but he has a couple to go.
3,000? No,
I believe so. No, was it?
that's just a couple clicks away. It's okay. We'll figure that in a moment.
I didn't think there was any question really that they wouldn't be back.
It is 3,000. He's 2,968. So, I mean, I would like to say he should be able to get it, but at the same time, I get it. It makes sense. You do the math. He's not that far away at all. But at the same time, how many starts is he going to make? I mean, there's a definite possibility that Kershaw makes 3 or 4 starts.
No,
he does that. He'll pitch like 1 start and then go back on the IL.
But see, here's where it's different. They don't need to rely on him like at all, right? Like
they don't need to rely on any of their starters, which is hilarious.
Yeah, so I mean, he can take as much time as he needs to get better, and everybody knows a fresh Kershaw has been really good, even at this age. He's been solid. It's just him not being able to stay healthy. So I don't think there's any doubt that he'd be able to get to that number. I don't think so.
Right. It's most likely. I'm just saying that the way his history is, it is definitely possible that it's a no.
So who has the better year, Kershaw or Verlander?
Stop right now. Stop. I think
I don't think it's a fair comparison because Kershaw may not get
Verlander,
the same amount of starts.
Verlander's 40s has been better than Clayton Kershaw's late 30s. I think it's pretty safe to say.
I think you're a hater.
And, you're the one. I don't make old Kershaw memes. Shout out to SF memes, SF Giant memes for making an old Kershaw meme. I should probably sweat it back. But you're the one making old Verlander memes, so
I think I just changed them back. If anything, the Giants have been editing those pictures to make them look young.
Ooh,
I'm just trying to put the truth out there for the public, man. That's all.
okay.
Yeah.
You're being a truther over there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Kike Kershaw, who is, I guess, the main signing we should talk about maybe is Farhan. Farhan coming back is just gonna coast into into a genius again.
Hey, he found who was it? Was it Muncie that he found and Taylor? I think.
Found Muncie and Taylor, which is why that's all we heard when he became the Giants president of baseball operations is, oh, he's gonna find us a Taylor, he's gonna find us a Muncie, and it's Mike Yastrzemski is great. I'm not gonna say he doesn't find dudes because that's a specialty, but
Hey man, it was an inside job, and he's like, hey man, you go destroy that organization for a couple years.
right.
We'll give you 1 year where it seems like you guys are really really good, and then you go back to mediocrity. And when he came back, they welcome him with open arms and be like, job well done. Now they've got Buster Posey, setting them up to fail. So job well done.
You
Farhan.
sound like old guy Giants Twitter. Like that was the conspiracy theories all over Giants Twitter when Farhan first got signed as the president of baseball operations. But gosh, I mean, we knew it was going to happen. I'm not sure how much you can really read into this, but I think it's time to talk about spring training. This is the time for optimism, or I guess the time for you is like, this is why do the Dodgers even show up to spring training? They're going to have 50% of the roster on the Phantom IL all year and are still going to win the game, the NL West by like 20. Because that's how it always happens and whatever. But you know what? This is the time for us to have a little bit of optimism until our souls are crushed every year. So we can talk about some Giants spring training questions. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to start here. Let's start here. Can Jung-Hoo Lee bounce back? We kind of took most of these questions from MLB.com, Giants writer and the Dodgers writer. They had some topics that we're kind of stealing and trying to give our 2 cents on. Jung-Hoo Lee was the biggest signing I think Farhan ever made. 6 years, 117, something like that.
Could you
really
call
exciting
it a bounce
player,
back, though?
huh?
Could you call it a bounce back? Like he got hurt.
That's
He
what I'm
didn't
saying.
really I don't know if he played enough to struggle mightily and not get out of it, kind of thing. So
Right.
it's just a redo kind of thing. I would
Yes.
see it that way.
Yes. What's up, cheesecake? I love that. Two fat
the
kids, we always
lactose.
gonna love cheesecake. Yes. I felt the same way. Like, how you can't really call that a comeback or a bounce back. It's more like I'm really excited to see what he can do. All the projections that MLB's had for him has been nothing but I guess Giants wet dreams. They are always having him over like 300 to close to 300, 12 to 15 home runs and playing great defense. That's what you sign him for, and you're hoping that that is true and it happens. But at the same time, I'm just more of less the story of Giants camp right now is Bob Melvin talking about how he's going to hit in the 3-hole, which is very strange. You got Lamont Wade first, Willie Adames second, Jung-Hoo Lee third, and then Matt Chapman fourth. I guess if you're that dead set on righty lefty bounce back, sure.
Why wouldn't
But
you just
this is-
switch them then? Isn't Jung-Hoo Lee he's a leadoff hitter? Why wouldn't you just switch him with Lamont Wade? I don't get that. But Melvin,
the idea
never
is
stop being
Lamont
yourself.
Wade, Lamont Wade gets on base, right? And
Why do we like him?
slow.
He gets on base.
Exactly. But he walks all the time, but he's slow. So I don't know. This could be some groundbreaking stuff. And in 2 months, we're going to be like, oh my gosh, how did we not see this before? This is great. I would love it. That's true.
And I saw a report somewhere. Somebody put a stat up there that your 3-hole hitter comes up a lot with 2 outs, with not a lot of chances most of the time. So it's better to put him in the 2-hole or whatever it is. But like, especially him, I don't think he's a home run threat either.
No,
Like
no,
the contact hit, I don't get that. But maybe it'll change throughout the season. But
right.
if it doesn't work, good.
Yeah, I guess it's absolutely insane. Yeah, so that's a definite question. I think a lot of the Giants season's going to depend on guys like Jung-Hoo Lee and Heliot Ramos, Tyler Fitzgerald, which we're going to get into a little bit later. That's kind of close to what the next topic is for the Giants, but we're going to go back to Dodger Town, if that's a thing. Is that corny to say? Who knows? Dodgers. You don't have a lot of questions. So your question should be, how does not everyone get hurt all the time? And then we're going to win the division. So, but let's talk about this. How will Ohtani fare going back to being a two-way player? Does it make you worried? Do you honestly think he's going to go 50-50 or close to it again? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I've learned not to doubt Ohtani, as have many people, whether they're fans of him or not. It just seems like when he's like focused on something, he's focused on something, he'll do it. I don't see another 50-50 just because the wear and tear of pitching and all that. So I mean, I think he still have a great season power wise and all that, but I don't see him running as much. But again, if that's something he sets his mind to, then he's going to prove us all wrong and steal more bases. But I don't know what to expect the first year, because we still don't even know what kind of surgery he got. He was very secretive about it. So I don't know. It doesn't worry me. I'm kind of excited to see him pitch in our rotation, but I just hope they take it slow. I hope they when he's ready is when he comes back and not too early. So
yeah,
and I think they have
what
that
did they
luxury,
say?
like you said, with all the players that they have.
Yeah, and I think it came out when he's supposed to start pitching, right? It's going to be like May or June.
Yes, May, I think they said.
Right.
But he
So
said he would have more. He would know more when he pitched off the mound, a bullpen or whatever. So maybe we'll get more answers, a more clear answer then.
yeah, maybe he'll just have to hit a home run every single day and steal a base every single day, every single game until he starts pitching again if he wants to keep it that way.
Yeah, I'm fine if he doesn't steal, man. Just stay healthy. I don't. You already broke it. It was awesome. Just I need him to stay healthy.
You're
That's
just
all.
gonna hold your breath.
I mean that's scare in the playoffs. Like let's not do that, because then you can't pitch and you can't hit. So let's be cautious.
The weird thing is they're not even telling us what he had surgery on. They said it was like not surgery on, but the kind of surgery it was. Yeah. It was like it's pretty much Tommy John, but it's not Tommy John. It's like, what does that even mean? Like, what do we? Are they like repairing like are they adding in a robotic tendon? I don't.
Yeah, it was a bionic arm. They can't tell you. It's top secret. So
apparently not. This is it's wild. I don't know.
But yeah, I'm more excited than anything about it. I want to see him pitch. I want to see, like, you get to see Ohtani, Sasaki, and Yamamoto like on any given night. It's just going to be awesome. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, whatever. Six-man rotation bullshit. Now going back, I'm gonna end with the other one. I'm gonna stick with the outfield because this is the real question. I feel like this is how the Giants can be successful on the offensive side, is if Marco Luciano and Luis Matos are those guys and they get at bats, right? So, I mean, the infield is pretty set at this moment unless something happens and they make a crazy trade for a first baseman. That's the only way that they could be good, I feel like, is if Jung-Hoo Lee's that guy, Luis Matos gets consistent at base, is that, a little more consistent versus player of the week 1 week and then not getting on base at all. So, I mean, he walks. This is a guy with huge upside. I mean, these are top 100 prospects. Matos, Luciano was like the big one for a long time. Let's see how he does in the outfield. When you see those names, does it strike fear into your heart, Dave?
Nah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to clip this at 40 minutes every single time Marco Luciano and Luis Matos go back to back. No, I'm gonna have to use this. Hopefully, we can.
If they go back to back against the Dodgers at any time in the regular season, you can clip this and I can tell you how wrong I was. You can put it in the intro.
Okay.
Like I was so wrong, but it does not strike fear in me at all. It's like, no, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's at this point, it's kind of like, I mean, Luciano and Matos, I believe, both of them, maybe just Luciano. This is his last option year. So do you just, I mean, he's obviously probably not going to make the opening day roster. It is interesting that if you look at the non-roster invites on the Giants roster, there's no outfielders. I think there is plenty of opportunity for Luis Matos to take a spot. There's plenty of opportunity for Marco Luciano to take a spot, but it's just they have to do it, and the time is kind of now, or they're gonna have to move off. I mean, I don't know where to kind of even kind of go from there. Like this is like kind of Farhan's legacy, even though he already left, but these are like his guys. If they turn out to be legit stars, then it's kind of looking like we should have gave Farhan maybe another couple years or something. But
so you're hoping they
man.
fail. Yeah, you're hoping they fail.
They fail.
That way Farhan like, was that you were right about firing Farhan. So yeah, let's hope these guys don't make it.
Or else we're going to be throwing rocks at Farhan's windows like, baby, come back. You know, well, we'll see what happens. Now you guys, this is a question that I find extremely fascinating because we talk about the Giants and how can they be good, right? What are the pathways for them to make a postseason appearance? You know, you can't even really go into postseason run because, you know, they haven't really been making the postseason at all. Now on the Dodgers side, what's the possibility not of a weakness on this Dodger team? And I think this might be part of it. Mookie Betts at shortstop is probably one of the most ugly things in the world. Actually, that's probably a little harsh, but you know what? That's. I mean, he wasn't good. It's not trash talk if you're saying things that are facts. Type mentality. What are you thinking? Where are you at with Mookie going to short?
I don't know. He said something interesting in his one of the interviews that I saw in spring training that, you know, wherever they need him, he'll go. So he's like, whether it's shortstop, whether it's right field, which I don't know. Maybe there is a slightly chance that he might go at some point, but I think he'll be fine, man. I don't think it'll be amazing, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was last year. I mean, he was preparing to be a second baseman, and on the fly, they're like, "Hey, man, we might need you to play short," and you know, it didn't really work out. But I think a lot of it was the throws, and I think with the whole spring training to get, you know, practice those throws, and you know, I don't know, practice makes perfect. So maybe the spring training he's just focused on that, and it'll be all right. I mean, I don't think it's a huge concern, but I do like his defense much better in right field. But
yeah, he's a Gold Glover in right field.
Yeah, the luxury with the Dodgers is you've got Rojas, you've got Kim. So if at some point it really does look like he's not improving at all, like nothing changed, and he's still having problems with his throws or, you know, whatever it is, then you can make a move. Like it's not like you have to go out there and find someone. You can make a move for the interim. So I'm not too concerned, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was before. I think it'll surprise some people how well he'll play.
So I'm looking up some defensive metrics for Mookie Betts right now.
So when it's Mookie, we got to deep dive into the metrics and all this. When it's the rookies on your team, it's like no. It doesn't matter.
Come on, man. Let's give him a shot.
It doesn't matter that it was.
That's the game we're playing here, though. That's the game we're playing. The thing is we're so at a so complete different points in these teams. you could say journey, but I don't know what else to what position that they're in, right?
Their windows.
They're so like the different spots that they're in is so vast. You can't ask the same questions. We got to go opposite here. And in 2023 at shortstop, he has -2 outs above average and -4 outs above average in shortstop last year.
I don't.
Base -1 in 23 and 0 in 2024. So he got a little better at second base in 2024.
Yeah, I don't think it's any like secret that he wasn't good at shortstop last year. Like there was times where he looked really bad, but again, you're like he was preparing to be a second baseman, and they put him on short on the fly. It doesn't matter how much coaching they try to put in there between games. It just never looked comfortable when he came to some throws and some easy plays as well. Like it was just
right,
either throwing it too low or too whatever it was. So, he's going to improve. It's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad at all.
Not
it's not
bad.
It will not be that bad.
Maybe. I mean, it's definite possibility. Yeah, that's better. I was trying to find the other stat that I actually know about. The thing is, the funny thing about like defensive metrics is like 1 year they still are like figuring this out and they're switching back and forth. So it's like, can you even use these? And the thing is with, when we're breaking stuff down and we're trying to make points, I think what we do, what I think mostly everyone does, which is if it works for what I'm saying, I'm going to use it. And if it doesn't, then let's just ignore it. I'm sure it'll go back to normal at some point, which is very possible, but very could also be a little crazy. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are with me. Is this the worst? Nah, that's a little too hard. That's a little Joe Kelly about it. I'm not going to go there. But does the Dodgers defense worry you at all? What are you more worried about? Marco Luciano and Luis Matos being actual guys or the Dodgers defense?
Oh, well, I mean, if you're just if those are my only two options, yeah, the level of worriedness for the Matos, whoever the other one was, is like down here. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Yeah, like of course it'll be the defense just by default.
Let's put that again. Okay.
I mean, Heliot Ramos could be a really good player, but he just has to prove it. Like he just has to. Right. Because like I said, I've seen it with Outman where I thought, oh my God, maybe we have something here until we didn't. So
right.
That second year is pivotal. So we'll see how good he is. But I'm not worried that he's going to be the face of their franchise or anything. Like he'll be a decent player.
Well, that guy's right around the corner. The other thing is, is Bryce Elder's going to come up. I feel like we've talked about that and so much. That I mean, maybe I'll just say the same thing quickly. He's not going to be up on opening day. He could be a guy, but they're going to keep him down for at least 2 weeks to manipulate his service time. It's not cool, but they're probably going to do it. But I hope if they're going to play the young guys, and this is kind of, I don't want to say rebuilding year, but almost like a reset, like one of those Mets reset deals, that they just need to play the young guys. And I think Bryce Eldridge needs to be left alone. Let him do it. And it seems like that's the kind of way that they're going. The only thing, I mean, I think you look at their signings and it's quite evident about that. I mean, Justin Verlander, he's not going to give you 35 starts. So that gives you a lot of opportunities to see what these young starters are going to do. Willie Adames is still 29 years old. So, and you have no shortstop coming up anytime soon. So that is taking care of a need that hopefully you're going to have a giant need for in 2 years. So
that's so sad, isn't it? Like I like Willie Adames. I thought he was cool. I wouldn't have minded him in Dodger blue, but now I have to dislike him like completely. Poor guy.
Bring on the hate, dude. Bring it on. Yeah, I mean that would be logical if you want to have a good defensive team, but right now it seems
Well,
like
then the problem is that if you put Edmund and he could still spot start at short.
right.
That's another guy that could play short really well. But who plays center field? You're not going to have Teoscar in center field.
Yeah, I got
And
Michael
you're not going to have
Conforto.
Conforto. And I don't think there's a spot for Outman just so he can play defensively in center field with
Right.
no bat. So, I mean, you might be looking at Rojas at shortstop, giving him some time off instead of Edmund. But
But
yeah,
then
I mean,
where are you going to put
that's-
Hai-Song Kim? This is another crazy thing about the Dodgers. They signed so many guys, even the guys that they're signing. I saw some reports of maybe Hai-Song Kim play some time in AAA. What? Hai-Song Kim signed with the Dodgers to go to AAA? Like, this is wild. This is
Well, who do you
wild.
wait? Who do you think Kim is? Like at best, he was just going to be like he
Yeah.
wasn't a superstar.
No. But he's a major league player. He's someone that, I mean, he
Well,
was
we
definitely lower rated
have
than
to
Jung
see
Hoo
what he
Lee,
has.
but huh?
We have to see what we'll see in the first couple spring training games or whatever it is, how good he can handle the bat. But like, there's a real possibility that he might not even be, all that well at hitting. So we'll see how he adjusts. I mean, that's what I've read.
Oh,
He has
this is
a
so wild.
light bat, but you're making it seem like we're gonna put a superstar in the minors. Like,
Not a superstar, but this guy had legitimate major league offers, and he said, "I'm going to go to a place that might put me in
well,
AAA."
come on, dude. He wasn't gonna go to the Angels. That's just a AAA team playing at the major league.
But at least
level.
you're playing.
Like-
At least you're playing in the major leagues. You're not in AAA.
Okay, I guess if you want to be with okay, I'm finally going to the MLB. Let me go to a shitty situation just to start, or let me go with a good situation, and maybe I'll go to AAA to get better at whatever I need to work on, and then I come up. Like, it's not disrespectful or anything.
I think it's disrespectful. I think it's wildly disrespectful. I don't know. That's
gonna go to the minors, but
well, I don't know. We can do this all day. Jesus wants us to talk about Nolan Arenado, where he could end up. Gosh, he keeps on saying no to people. It's like, I mean, I guess the Yankees could, but the Yankees aren't going to. They're crying poor right now. Who can use a third baseman right now?
the Yankees are like, no, we're all good here, man. We got Jazz Chisholm. We're straight.
Yes. I mean,
so-
you could. I mean, technically, all the teams that were in on Alex Bregman, the Cubs and the Tigers could. But do you think the Tigers really could soak up another contract after?
I think there was more
Baez?
upside with Bregman, perhaps playing second base with some of those teams than there is with Arenado in his contract, and hopefully he bounces back. Like, I don't know who is willing to take that chance, especially with the money that comes with it. So I think he's going to stay in St. Louis for the time being until somebody gets hurt during spring training or in the beginning of the season, whatever it is. But I just don't see a fit anywhere else.
Right. Yeah, I think maybe the Cubs would definitely be interested, but you're trading him to your rival in division, and I think that the Cardinals would have to pay up a lot of that money. So, and unless the Cardinals are willing to do that, which I'm sure that's probably what they're trying to get away from, then maybe he could be a Cub. But man, I just see it.
I think he's staying put. There's no real market.
Or why don't you just go to a ballpark that you've killed it in for a long time? He destroys it at Oracle. So,
well, because they don't want
come
him.
play first base. Come play first base, baby. Come on. I love me some Nolan Arenado.
I wonder what that trade would look like too. But at that point, you guys could have just signed Pete Alonso.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started on Pete Alonso. It wasn't going to happen. Whatever, dude. This is the topic I'm really kind of excited to get into for my side. Making the rotation. Obviously, Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Justin Verlander, and Jordan Hicks are the four. The fifth starting spot. There's three main players for that last spot. It's going to be Kyle Harrison. It's going to be Hayden Birdsong. It's going to be Landon Roop. And I feel like the Giants are getting really disrespected when it comes to this. The talk there, people are acting like these are just bums over here. And these are Kyle Harrison was the best left-handed pitching prospect in baseball 2 years ago. He came up, just made it to where he wasn't a prospect anymore 2 years ago. Didn't really have a season. Had his first full season last year. Had some things, lost some velocity because he was hurt because of an ankle injury. Could be bullshit. It could be legit. I mean, I might as well get into this right now. I want to show you a little something. I was listening to a Giants podcast called Giants Talk from a Giants beat writer at NBC Sports Bay Area, and they were talking about how Kyle Harrison's struggles kind of remind them of some really good pitchers who had struggling first full years. Tell me if these numbers look close to you. Should probably take away this banner, huh? Let me hide this banner. Now look at this. The WAR is a little different, but everything else, 24 starts, about 100, a little bit over 100 innings pitched. The strikeout rate's good. Walk rate's better than anyone. These are guys that are dudes on both of our teams, right? And they struggled their first full season. So you can't just throw a guy away who has so much promise.
Fun to compare.
What?
I said it's fun to compare.
Why?
But because this would look funny if next year he completely has the same season. And
100%.
We compared him to Kershaw, Snell, and Lincecum. Like, let's hold off. I know we always try to justify.
Hold on. What do you mean hold off?
Like, you're trying to suggest that he's gonna be as good as these people because he struggled, or whoever made that comment. It's like, oh, look, these guys struggled, and okay, yeah, if you think he's gonna have the trajectory of a Kershaw, a Snell, or even a Lincecum, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Even a Lincecum, Lincecum was one of the best pitchers. You need
what I mean. I wasn't trying to throw any shade at him, but what I'm saying is those are three great pitchers, and
100%.
I don't like that. Oh well, look, they struggled. Okay.
No, my
but
point
if he
is not
again,
that
that
he's
just looks
going to
really
be
ridiculous.
them. But what I'm saying is you shouldn't write him off. He's a highly touted prospect, a lot of talent, and because he had a bad full season where he struggled a lot, he shouldn't be thrown away or disrespected like he's just some guy. All right, this is a guy. And I think that he needs a little more respect right now. And I feel like the Giants rotation is.
I feel like he needs to earn that respect. You came out there, you struggled. Okay, that's fine. There's a lot of greats that have struggled. Now it's on you to change their minds. So you can't be mad for people being not disrespectful, but not this guy struggled. It is what it is. Now show us that you can handle it.
This guy is the same age.
Instead of justifying it as to why, these guys struggle too. Okay, but these guys are now greats. What are you?
Exactly. So you have the opportunity. No. You have the. It's not like you went out there and you got completely shelled. You had seasons that are completely comparable to these legends. So it's hey, you could still turn your career around and be that guy. You just got to go do it. No one should write this guy off. Like I said, best left-handed prospect in all of baseball 2 years ago. So this isn't, just some guy who did good in AAA. This is a guy with legit stuff that, pitched through an injury, and he should get some more respect. This guy is the same, and that's another thing too. This guy's young. He's the same age as Roki Sasaki. So everyone's all over Roki Sasaki's nutsack. All right. I'm just saying, give Kyle Harrison a little more respect. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, look, I'm the biggest Bobby Miller fan you'll meet, right? That. For
I thought you were gonna say I'm the biggest guy on Roki Sasaki's nutsack. That's where you're going.
Hey yo, but but there was times where I couldn't defend him. Like, it is what it is. Call a spade a spade. He was bad. He did pitch through some injuries and all that. You could make a million excuses.
I wouldn't
But
say
now,
bad, I'd
like,
say mediocre,
but now you're like, hey man, now it's time to put up or shut up. So you can't be mad at people being like, hey man, this guy's not good or not doing whatever it is. Like, you can't be mad at that.
you can.
No, you
You
can't,
can-
because it's up to
this
him
guy-
to come out and change it. Like, oh
Not
man, he was a
good.
good prospect. Great, you were a good prospect. Great, now show it. A good prospect is just a suspect until proven otherwise.
100%.
So
100%.
now it's their time to change their opinion, and until they do, the facts are the facts. They just haven't been good, right? So we can't be mad at that.
You're being wildly disrespectful right now. This is wild. This is Joe Kelly type.
I'm just
This
saying,
is Joe
it's-
Kelly type disrespect right now, and I can't stand
because
for it.
I've seen it on both sides. Like, when the Dodgers lose the World Series, hey man, it didn't matter how many people they lost. It is what it is. You guys still lost. Like, we're gonna treat it. We're gonna clown you, and we're gonna treat it as if you had a full healthy team. So
Okay,
facts, whatever. It is what it is.
facts is facts, baby.
Facts is facts.
I get what you're saying. I get it. I mean, you're wrong, and I hate you forever, but it's still trash. Still trash. I took a lot of time to make that little thing. So I think you owe me an apology. You need to send me a letter and a birthday card. That would be great. Now let's talk about the Dodgers side. This is a way different who's making the rotation, because now we're talking who's making this rotation. Because you got like 7 or 8 dudes. So do the Dodgers go 6-man rotations? That's something that you want to see. Where are you at on this?
As a fan, maybe, I guess I'd like to see it to keep them healthy. I know players have a routine, and some players don't like the 6-man rotation. They like to be on schedule with, every 5th day.
Right.
But they have so many guys that are injury risks, like Tyler Glasnow didn't even have surgery. Like, he just let it heal, whatever it was. And so, that's a risk. Blake Snell always seems to start slow. So, and Kershaw won't even be ready. So, like, there's a lot of guys that could make the rotation, but they could also use the time off or whatever it is. So I think everybody that's named will be pitching for them. Like, I think Gonsolin will be there. I don't know if Dustin May is coming back as a starter, but if he is, he'll probably get some start as well. Because we don't know what Roki is going to do either. Like, you don't know if he'll struggle or not, if he will be sent down at some point to limit his innings. So I think it's going to be a carousel the whole year just to try and keep these guys healthy. So I figured we see a lot of guys getting starts. I don't think there's going to be just like, there'll be top guys. Like, I think Snell might be the workhorse. Like, he might be the most consistent one,
which is crazy.
Which is crazy because he's never, he always starts slow. So you wouldn't think that, but Yamamoto is also coming back from an injury. He was, slow, played for a while. So I don't know. I just think we'll see a lot of pitchers because, they'll try to keep them healthy for the most part. And then, when you get Kershaw, like, you'll have to move some pieces around too. Like, so yeah. I don't know if that's an answer or not. I just feel like we're going to get to see a lot of these pitchers make starts.
Your workhorse is a 32-year-old pitcher whose career high is 180 innings all the way back in 2019. Oh, no. He also did 180 innings in 2023.
But the crazy part is that we don't need him to, like, pitch all that deep. Like, that's just not the game that it is anymore. Especially when you have a good bullpen. So, yeah.
No, I get it. It makes sense. And, what can you do? Guys, this has been fun. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat and hanging out with us. We are going to be back next week. I think we're just going to keep going live. I love the interaction and hanging out. But please make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform, as
Helps
well
out a
as
lot.
here on YouTube. Man, make sure to like it, to share it, all that kind of good stuff. Let's keep this train moving, and make sure to follow us on all your socials. The link is should be down in the bio at some point. But if not, Twitter, Benches cleared. P. TikTok benches cleared and Instagram benches cleared podcast. Thank you guys. Dave, what do you got for him?
The Eagles won the Super Bowl, which means baseball's back, baby, and let's get ready for it.
Let's get ready for it. If not, we'll see you next week.